So today we're reviewing this Deore M567 derailleur. This also applies to the 63 and the 65. If you have a 560 which looks exactly like this, it actually comes apart the same way as the 550, so I have a link to that video in the description. The only tools you need are some pliers, some Allen keys, a screwdriver, and a pick. Alright, and to unscrew the B-spring, all you gotta do is grab a 2mm Allen key and unscrew that pin. After you pull out the pin, just pull the cage away from you and it should spring right out. For that, make sure to grab your seal as well. Now for the P-Knuckle, first thing you want to do is remove this B limit screw bolt. After you've done that, you want to grab your pick and you want to put it in this little slot and pull out the clip and make sure it's positioned in between these two tabs so it goes out. After you get the clip off, if it doesn't spring out, just pull it towards you and it'll spring out like that. Pull off the tab and the spring and the bolt. Alright, now everything's all taken apart and it's time to clean. For this you can use a cleaner or a degreaser. You can also use a brush. You can use a wire brush as well. If you have rust, you can use some aluminum foil and water. That should take it right off. You can also use a sink, and you can also use brake cleaner. If you're using brake cleaner, when you spray it on the plastic, make sure to wipe it off really fast. And in my case, I'm using this ultrasonic cleaner, and all I'm using is water and dish soap. Alright, now everything is all cleaned down and ready to go. Another thing about the ultrasonic cleaning is if you're putting in painted parts like this black LX, don't leave it in there for too long or the paint will start to kind of flake. And for the assembly, another thing you're going to need is some grease. And for the pulleys, you can also get some saran butter. And I got this thing shining a little bit more with some turtle wax, just basic rubbing compound. Also for the chrome, I used some of this quick glow wax on the cage and some of the bolts. And starting off with the P-Knuckle, you want to get it all nice and greased up. Make sure you get all the sides. Then grab your bolt, make sure the little rubber seal is in there, and slide it in with a rotating motion. Now you want to grab your spring. One side is going to be recessed in a little bit like this. The other side will be flush. You want the side that's recessed to be facing up. And find the hole for the other end and stick it in. Make sure the spring is all the way in, and then grab the thinner seal like this and slide it on. After that, get your metal retaining clip and put that on as well. Make sure it engages fully. Here comes the tricky part where you're trying to get this tab all the way behind there. So what you want to do is grab some pliers at a 45-degree angle, grab the little spot where the bolt goes through. You want to twist it, and you want to push it down, hold it there, make sure the bolt is all the way up, and grab your clip and slide it on. And then don't forget to put in your B limit screw bolt. And for the B-Knuckle, same exact story. You want to grease it up, get all the sides nice and good, and grab your thicker seal. Slide that on. Grab your spring. You'll see that there's a thinner side and a thicker side. You want the thinner side to go in your cage. Your cage has two holes. The right one is the tighter one. The left one is the looser one. I'm going to go with the tighter one. After this, you want to grab the body and the cage and put the two together. And rotate it until you feel a click. Make sure it goes all the way down. After that, your derailleur looks like this. Then you want to rotate the cage counterclockwise around until the stopper goes past the one on the body. Push it all the way down and then leave it behind the stopper. When you have it in the right spot like so, you You want to grab your 2mm pin, put a little bit of grease on it, and screw it in until it stops. Alright, and now for the pulleys, I'm going to use some SRAM butter. And for the guide pulley right here with the metal insert, you want to put some grease on the inside of that. Then grab your other metal bushing. You want to put some grease on the inside of that as well. Slide those two together. Make sure don't put any around where the seals go. Grab your little seals, washers, whatever you want to call them. Put them on. And then you want to put some grease on the bolt as well. You want to do the same thing for the tension pulley. So after you got the pulleys on, make sure you tighten down the bolts. Put on your bail adjuster and your clamp bolt. And you have yourself a fully rebuilt derailleur. These black Electros are really common. They're also super reliable and durable. The only real flaw is the black paint, which scratches really easily, but if you wax it down nice, it looks super cool. So if you have an old derailleur, don't replace it, just rebuild it. And thanks to everyone who subbed.